Alright, hello guys, just doing a quick video on The Whip, a recent Netflix movie that people have been talking about. From the looks of it and just hearing it from Jeremy Jahns, I just knew it was going to be an average film, and yeah, for me it's an average film. I could see some people enjoying this a bit more, but I mean the cast, like Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Stephen Yeun. There's a lot of people in this that are a pretty cool cast, but since it's Netflix, they always end up wasting the cast and it ends up not being all that. I mean, look at Electric State, literally last year. That was literally the worst movie of the year, probably. Well, arguably with Snow White, and I don't even want to say War of the Worlds because that's just so hilarious. But it is a bad film, though. But it's hilarious though. That's probably the best bad film of last year. Yeah. But this film, yeah, it's not bad. It's average. It's mid. It's nothing special. It's just basically about because it starts with someone called Jackie who gets killed, and you kind of see like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck's reaction to that, because one of them was, I guess, close with her, and then never really found out who actually did it, and then they ended up finding about this whip with a bunch of money, seeming like it's just going to be a simple job which to go to, but ends up turning into something else. So before I get into spoilers, real quick, because I'll just probably go for this review fast, because to me the movie's not all that. Yeah. The pacing, it starts off how you think it would start with the pacing, like not too much going on, but setting up like intrigue and stuff. I mean, once you get to like the middle of the second act, you're thinking, oh my god, something's finally gonna happen, with all these phone calls and stuff that's happening, but then they end up dropping the ball, and then the reveal ends up not really being much of a reveal because they literally showed signs of what the character was doing, and then the actual other reveal just was disappointing, and I've heard other people feel the same way. But yeah, I wasn't expecting much from this film. I wasn't even going to watch this film. Once I heard Stephen Yeun and the other actor from One Battle After Another was in this, I had to check it out just to see. It ended up still being as what I expected, nothing crazy. I mean, the premise was good, but I've seen this executed better in The Shield in multiple episodes than this film, with crooked cops and stuff. And I just don't feel like they did it really that well. To how, I mean, it actually did set up well. And once they got to this, like near the end of the second act, I was thinking finally they were going to get something really good. And then just for me, they kind of blow it, and they're going like a Fast and Furious situation direction. It's just, bro, from how the movie started, like a small scale movie that could turn into something big. But then they just went a bit too big at the end with the flipping chase and stuff. Because they end up finding all this money. There's this woman who just says she didn't know anything about it, and then you find out like it was the cartels, and then the cartel end up giving up the money, and then just I feel like the cartel should have still been a big part of it, but because them leaving the money, it just ends up destroying the movie to me. And then you see Stephen Yeun being possibly a snitch, but then he ends up, instead of being a snitch for the good guys, he's actually working with the ones who want to take the money. And then you find out who actually takes the money, like Ben Affleck's friend. He ends up being the big twist, but to me that was like an underwhelming twist. Because for the whole film they made Matt Damon seem like he was the traitor. But then that it ends up being basically him pretending that he's a traitor. Like everyone's like, well, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon just playing along, making us think they had like a feud with each other the whole time, but they didn't. And then you had Stephen Yeun on the phone basically with the voice telling them like they only have a certain time to get out, take the money that is not labelled, and then that is labelled I think, and then basically go. But I was just wondering what would have happened to them if they actually did take the money. They probably would have got in trouble by the police, right? Because that wouldn't have been the full money. So I don't know if they would have got arrested, all of them. But then the bad ones would have got away. Stephen Yeun and his partner, yeah. Because the one who Ben Affleck was talking to ends up being a traitor the whole time. And that's who Stephen Yeun was talking to. But yeah. We knew Stephen Yeun was in it in some way, but we just find out in this moment, like, they just basically reveal their plan. And yeah, they try to basically escape. They get chased down. Get taken down. They went so extra with this scene, like it's Fast and Furious, like bruh. Literally Ben Affleck falling down in his van and somehow still gets up okay. It turns into Fast and Furious, and I'm talking about modern Fast and Furious, of course. Because that's what people think when you say Fast and Furious. I don't think of like the old school, like street level Fast and Furious with cars. They think of the over the top Fast and Furious at this point. Yeah, didn't mean to play it. And then she ends up getting a lot of the money. When the cops get the money, the real cops, because her house got burned down and stuff. It was her grandma's house, so she basically got like collateral. And then some of it, I guess, would go back into the sea and stuff. So they ended up doing the right thing. Yeah, I just feel like they could have did way more of this movie than what we actually got. Because the premise was good, and because I've seen The Shield and many other movies do it better, like The Pied and stuff, like what Matt Damon was also in. Well, it's a little bit different, but yeah, The Shield's like the main example for me with how you do Crooked Cops and actually make it very interesting and not let me down. Because that show was entertaining literally the whole way through. It was just so good. It's peak TV. It's the best cop show of all time, in my opinion. And I mean, comparing it to that, it's just, and I knew it wasn't going to be all that anyway. Even just literally just by hearing about it, I was like, oh, it's just probably going to be a mid film. And then because it's Netflix, it's not like a proper studio or a proper like movie company that did it. Because Netflix are known for making a lot of mid to bad films anyway. Sometimes great films, but most of the time mid to bad films. So yeah, I just knew it wouldn't be anything special, but at least it wasn't bad. It's a decent watch for like the weekend, I guess. Yeah, just watched it with a family member and that's it. Yeah, a little cheesy ending here, but yeah, them looking at the sunset, showing that they're still getting along and stuff. But yeah, and it revenged Jackie because they got the people who killed her. I guess it was Stephen Yeun and that guy. Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much the story anyway. It's pretty mid, but oh well. At least it's not bad. It's a decent watch. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Let me know what you thought of the movie, if you loved it, which I'd love to find someone who would actually say that. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Appreciate you, give a like, and peace.